Shyam Shyama Shyam. Vrindavana Mehde Nucharave Gopi Jana Manari. Vrindavana Mehde Nucharave Gopi Jana Manari. Shri Govardhana Dari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Shri Govardhana Dari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Braja Jana Mana Sukakari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Braja Jana Mana Sukakari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Radha Krishna Miliyabado Gaura Rupa Avatari. Radha Krishna Miliyabado Gaura Rupa Avatari. Kirtana Dhamma Prachari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Kirtana Dhamma Prachari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Braja Jana Mana Sukakari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Braja Jana Mana Sukakari Shyama Shyam. Tuma bin mere aur n koi nama rupa avatari. Tuma bin mere aur n koi nama rupa avatari. Tarananda me bolihari rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Tarananda me bolihari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Narayana bolihari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Narayana bolihari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Braja Jana Mana Sukakari Rate Shyam Shyama Shyam. Shri Rate Braja Jana Mana Sukakari Shyama Shyam. Jaya Rate Jaya Krishna Jaya Rate Jaya Krishna Jaya Rate Jaya Krishna Jaya Rate Jaya Shri Krishna.
Haribol. Pran, kannst du die Musik ausmachen, bitte?
Oder die Tür einfach zumachen, das geht gleich auf. Die Musik ist leise.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. 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 Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura. Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura. Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura. Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Premanande. Hari Bol. Jai Singh Nittai Gaura Sundagantarika Girdhari. Sri Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Raman Bihari Radha Syama Sundajuki Jai. Cheriya Bhavishtamastam Bhadastutta Sata Sriman Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Mat Sri Gurudev Ki Jai. Sri Gurudev Pasada Bind Ki Jai. Sri Gauriya Vaishnava Acharya Varga Ki Jai. Sri Rupanova Gurvarga Ki Jai. Sri Shri Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Prince Guru Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Maya Gudam Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Radha Savanatmaka Sri Patsamandala Ki Jai. Syama Kunna Radha Kunna Muna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Kantarat Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavim Ki Jai. Samagata Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. Sri Gaura Premanande.
auflöst, wenn es so lange dauert.
Und salzig, so wie die groß.
Schmeckt nach wahrscheinlich.
Amagyana timirandasya kananjana salakaya chaksoran meditangena tasmai shri gurave namah. Gurave Guratannaya Ratikai Tadari Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktayo Namo Namah. Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Pema Padaite Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratishay Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kansana Gorangi Radhe Pindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutte Devi Panamami Haripim. Bhaktya Vihina Aparadalaksai Ksiptassa Kana Tarangamate Kipamaitang Saranang Pavana Prinde Namaste Charnaravindam. Yang Bhavachantamanopeeta Nopeta Kitang Tvaipaino Viharakatara Atsuhavo Puttete Tanmayatayo Tarvo Vinedus Tang Savabhutaridayang Munimana Tusmi Vanchakalpadrubhyassa Kepasan Hupa Ivatam Patitanam Pavanipyo Vaishnavipyo Namo Namah. You can find a sloka if you put in Google SB, S like Srimad Bhagavatam, SB, then a space, then 4.29.70. Yes, 70.70. Then there will come one link, Vedabase. Yeah, you go on that one. And then you may have to click on the verse to find the Sanskrit, but you will check that. Okay, we are continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, text number 70. Na aham mama iti bhavaha ayam Naham mameti bhavoyam Nahang mameti bhavoyam Puruse vyavadhiyate Puruse vyavadhiyate Puruse vyavadhiyate Yavat Buddhi Manaha Aksa Artha Yavat Buddhi Manoksartha Yavat Buddhi Manoksartha Guna Vyuha Hi Anadi Man Guna Vyoho Vyanadiman Guna Vyoho Yanadiman. Translation. As long as there exists the subtle material body composed of intelligence, mind, senses, sense objects, and the reactions of the material qualities, the consciousness of false identification and its relative objective, the gross body exists as well. Okay, as long as we have a subtle body, we will also have to accept a gross body. That is the meaning. We cannot get free from this material existence of accepting one body after another as long as we keep this material, this subtle body, meaning our mind, our intelligence, and our ego. So this is like, but how to give up that subtle body? Like the subtle body is composed out of the mind, intelligence, and ego. So if we try to think, then we are using the mind. No? So the mind is material, and by using the material mind and trying to get free from the material mind, this is like an impossible thing. Because the mind, all our thoughts, whatever we do, whatever we think, whatever we speak, whatever it is, all material. So it is not possible to get free of the subtle body by using the subtle body. That is not possible. So only if we connect our subtle and gross body with Krishna, they take on a spiritual quality. Like iron which is put in a fire takes on the qualities of fire. Even though it is not fire, it is iron. But since it is in contact with the fire, it takes on the qualities of fire. In the same way, by using the senses, the mind, the body, the words in Krishna's service, they take on a spiritual quality, and the material karma will be destroyed by that. And the only way to destroy the karma is by doing activities for Krishna. An example can be given like that. If like someone who is working in a bank, and people giving him a lot of money, because they're coming, they are putting cash into the bank, or they're withdrawing money from the bank. And the cashier, he is taking so much money, giving out so much money. But as soon as he thinks, oh, I can enjoy that money, then he's in big trouble. And he will get very heavy reaction. But as long as he is only working in a detached way for the bank, he does not get any reaction like that. Or someone who is in the army, a soldier, if a soldier will go with his gun on his own and start shooting people, then he will be in big trouble. He will get very heavy reaction. But he is following the order of his superior, and then he does not get any reaction for his activity. This is a material example, of course, but you can understand the principle behind. Yeah. So in the same way, if everything you do in this world, you do as an service to God, as sacrifice, then you will not be attached to it. What does it mean to do sacrifice for God? Means karmane vatikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. In the beginning stage, it means karma yoga. Karma yoga means I am obliged to do my karma in this world, my activities that are prescribed for me. Like, for example, you may be a householder, means you're having a household and a wife or husband. Then you have to maintain your family. This is your religious duty. So, and for that you have to work. You have to do some work. So this is your karma. Karmane vatikaraste. But the question is, why are you working? Am I working to enjoy the fruits of that work? I'm waiting for my money, and then I will decide what nice things I want to buy for myself so that I can enjoy. That means I want to enjoy the fruits of my karma. So if I'm not enjoying the fruits of my karma, but I'm simply working as my religious duty in this world to maintain my family, and I'm offering the fruits of my activity, I'm offering to Krishna. What does that mean? offering the fruits of Krishna, means some of that money will be needed to maintain myself and the family. Some money may be needed to store or to save something for the future. This is part of the religious duty of the householder. Someone who is living in the ashram as sannyasi or brahmachari, means like Safran, he should not save any money for himself because he depends on God only. But someone who is householder, he has to save some money also. And whatever money he has left, then he should give for God's service. So that is like the prescribed duty for the householder. If the householder, he follows that formula under the instruction and guidance of Guru, that means he is not getting the karma for his activities and for his prescribed duty. And this is karmani vatikaraste mapalishu kadachana. Don't think the fruits are for me to enjoy. Fruits should be used in God's service. That is called yagya. Then, na karma phala hetubhur. Don't think that you are the doer of that activity. One may think, okay, I maybe not enjoy the fruits of that activity, but I can be proud that I have done something very nice and great. And this is also a false conception. Because actually whatever we do in this world, we are giving the intelligence, we are given the power, we are given the facilities by God. Actually, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai kamani savasha ahankara vimutatma kata miti manyate. Every activities in this world are carried out by the mature energy of God, the Prakriti, under these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamagun, the modes of nature. Yeah. Ahankara vimutatma, someone who is very foolish, and who has big ego, he thinks I'm doing. So this idea, I'm the doer of an activity, this is what will bind us to this world. But if we have this understanding that I'm not the doer in this world, Krishna by his energy is maintaining everything. I simply have to follow his system, his program. Then in that way we will become free from this ego, material ego. We will become free from our karma, we will become free from our false ego to be the enjoyer and controller in this world. Mate sangostva kamani. Then one may say, okay, I cannot enjoy my activity, I cannot even think that I am the one who is doing it. Then why should I do something at all? This is like, this doubt may come. But Krishna says, no. This is also independent own decision. To think, I am the Lord, I can decide when I will do something, when I will not do something. This is also wrong. We are to act under Krishna's and Guru's guidance. We are his servant. So whatever he wants us to do, we will do. Not for ourselves, not with ego, but to please God, to please Krishna. If we act in this way, then we will get free from this subtle body. Then we will get free from the material ego, material intelligence and material mind, and we will develop our spiritual senses. So you can see that actually spiritual life is not some cheap thing. It is like very serious undertaking and a very scientific process how to become free from this karma and material things. Okay. So as long as we have this subtle material body, we will also get a gross body in this world. Only when this material body is dissolved, the subtle body, then we will get our spiritual body. Then we don't have to take birth again in this world. Okay. Um, you will have a mind in your spiritual body also, but that one is not material. Soul also has a body. But we don't say the soul body is made out of earth, water, fire, air, either, or mind, intelligence, and ego. Soul body is not made out of material elements. It is made out of Satchit Ananda, out of bliss, eternity, and knowledge. And this is... Huh? Yes. Yes, you cannot separate it. Yes. What people mean when they say my heart, they mean their mind. Yeah. But they don't say my mind usually. They say my heart, but it means their mind. Good. Purport. One may say we need the gross body to act as the doer and enjoyer. The subtle body does not act alone. So let's say there is no gross body, like if you die, then we should also be free from this, that I'm the doer, then I should get liberation. But the thing is, our connection to the gross body is never cut, as long as we have a subtle body. It may be only for some time, temporary, we may not have gross body, but we will very soon have another one. Actually, we are always connected with a gross body in this material world. So therefore, we do not get delivered. Actually, some beings who don't have a subtle body, like ghosts, like that, they don't become liberated. Instead, they become very frustrated because they are waiting to get gross body so that they can enjoy. Therefore, ghosts are always very frustrated. Yes. Like? Can you give an example? Feeling is coming from the mind. Yeah. The mind feels, I want to do that thing. But some voice may tell you, don't do that, it's not good. That is not the mind, that is the intelligence. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yes, and that this. And that is also true. And that means because we are actually everyone, we are guided by the Super Soul. Super Soul is telling us how to get certain kind of experience or certain kind of karma, you know. So something may tell you, you have to do this now. It means the Super Soul in the heart is directing you. You had this kind of karma is now waiting for you. So you have to experience that kind of karma right now. May it be good or may it be bad. Yeah. So that may be, this is like inspiration coming from the Super Soul in the heart. And this is also there. But generally, when people say, I love ice cream, or whatever, that is not the soul, you know, it's not the heart actually, it's just their samskaras from the senses and the mind, especially in the mind. We grew up in a village, mountain area, and then later we moved to the city. But our heart always wants to go back to the mountain village, you know, and then you think my heart is there. But really, it is not the heart, it's an impression in the mind, which is we have some attachment to, so to say. So heart, actually the heart is not an organ, so to say. It's an organ, but not something connected with the consciousness. And so the heart for a spiritual person, heart means the soul. Yeah, what the soul feels, that is the heart. But for a person who is conditioned and covered, then he only can experience his mind, his impressions in the mind, not the soul, like that.
But the mind, in this example, can be also in this mountain again. If the mind is there, then you are not so connected to the present situation. En intensief denkt, en then eigenlijk dat wat stelt de geist die heeft de fijnstoffelijk. Ja, ook daar zijn.
In the mature world, simply by thinking of something doesn't mean you are there. I mean, in a subtle way, you can connect to the energy of that place, like that. But simply by thinking of water, I will not, still my thirst. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, not very easy to discriminate between mind, intelligence, ego, and super soul. Especially for someone who's not very pure, it's very difficult to discriminate what is what and where something is coming from and how the difference between these, because they're subtle. One has to be very subtle himself, developed consciousness to discriminate between these subtle aspects. Okay, where are we? Yeah. So when did it all start? This subtle body does not have any beginning in time. This is like, we cannot give any point in time when our mature conditioning started, because it started outside of time. So therefore there's not any, it is like, we cannot give any point of time since when we are in this mature existence. But it can have an end, no? Okay, Srila Prabhupada comments. The desires in the subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego cannot be fulfilled without a gross body composed of earth, water, air, fire, and ether. When the gross body is not manifest, the living entity cannot factually act in the modes of material nature. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the subtle activities of the mind and intelligence continue due to the sufferings and enjoyments of the living entity's subtle body. The consciousness of material identification, such as I and mine, still continues because such consciousness has been existent from time immemorial. However, one transfers to the spiritual world by virtue of understanding Krishna consciousness, the actions and the reactions of both gross and subtle bodies no longer bother the spirit soul. Yeah. Just like any sinful living entities, they may go to hell. We had this topic before. You don't go to hell with this gross body, after you die, but you can go in your subtle body. You will go there, and you will experience extreme suffering as a punishment for your sinful activities, like that. Voluntarily want to go to hell in this world so you don't have to go to hell afterwards. That is not a very wise decision. We should get free from hell, either in this life or any other life where you want to be in hell. Then you're not in hell. If you're serving Krishna, then it doesn't matter where you are. You will not be influenced by the external surroundings. Okay, so we read next sloka number 71. Supti murcho patapeshu Supti murcho patapeshu Pranayana vighatataha Pranayana vighatataha Nehate ham iti jnanam Nehate ham iti jnanam Mrityu bratsvarayorapi Mrityu bratsvarayorapi. So someone may say, okay, the gross body can be destroyed when you die, and the subtle body remains. But is it not also that while the gross body exists, the subtle body is destroyed? Just like when you are in deep sleep, there's not any function of intelligence, ego, or mind, or something like that. Or when you faint, or like if you are so much in shock, or in the state of death, or something like that, one has no self-awareness. Is it not that the subtle body will be destroyed at that time? No. Only we are not aware of that.
People who almost died, they have some experience about this.
Yeah. So 2 verses explain this topic. Because if the senses stop, external senses stop, like when you sleep, or in other conditions when you are unconscious. So and the senses don't work anymore. Then at that moment we don't have any self-awareness. The identity, I'm such and such, seems to be lost. Still, the subtle body is not absent. The subtle body is there. Otherwise, when you get again to consciousness, or when you wake up, how is it that you remember who you are? Or what you did before? Like that. That means the subtle body still is there. Even some may, after accident, may be in such a shock that he forgets mostly everything. Does not mean that the subtle body is destroyed. As such, only means some of the remembrance has been erased from that, at least to the direct access to us. It's not directly accessible at that moment. But the subtle body is not destroyed at that time. In the next shloka, there will example is given, just like a small child in the womb. As long as the senses are not developed until 7th month or something like that, the child does not have any consciousness, not any awareness in the womb. That does not mean that the subtle body is destroyed. Just it is not conscious at that time about the subtle body. But when the senses again manifested, and then the awareness also develops. And that is all very, very esoteric knowledge, actually. Purport: foolish people deny the existence of the soul, but it is a fact that when we sleep, we forget the identity of the material body, and we awake, we forget the identity of the subtle body. In other words, while sleeping, we forget the activities of the gross body, and when active in the gross body, we forget the activities in sleeping. Actually, both states, sleeping and waking, are creation of the illusory energy, material energy, Maya. The living entity actually has no connection either with the activities of sleep or the activities of the so-called vacant state. Everything is like a movie where we are in and which we identify with. But actually we are not connected with it. When a person is in deep sleep or when he has fainted, he forgets his gross body. Similarly, under chloroform or some other anesthetic, the living entity forgets his gross body and does not feel pain or pleasure during a surgical operation. Similarly, when a man is suddenly shocked by some great loss, he forgets his identification with the gross body. At the time of death, when the temperature of the body rises very high, living entity falls into a coma and is unable to identify his gross body. In such cases, the life air that moves within the body is choked up, and the living entity forgets his identification with the gross body. Because of our ignorance of the spiritual body, of which we have no experiences, we do not know the activities of the spiritual body, and in ignorance we jump from one false platform to another. So this material like this gross body, subtle body, we are connected with it, but sometimes this connection stops or is blocked for some purpose, or some out of some reason. So that does not mean that the subtle body does not exist anymore. That is the conclusion here. Someone who is on the pure spiritual platform, he will never be without awareness. Because he has waked up to the soul, whatever happens to the gross body or subtle body, he will be completely conscious. We cannot understand this, but like our Gurudev, he was under anesthetics operating on his heart, but he was continuing to chant Hare Krishna. Or when he was shortly before he left this world, it seemed externally like he was not in consciousness, more or less. But really, he was completely conscious. For example, which holy day it was, like when it was Ekadashi or fasting day. Even he had not spoken for 3-4 days, and it seemed like he was not in consciousness. Then suddenly he started speaking, today is Ekadashi, and today Parikrama should go to this and this place. So it means actually the soul was completely conscious. But this is not for ordinary persons, that is not the case. If we are in anesthetics, then we forget everything, because our soul is not awake. But for realized persons, they, even at that time, their awareness does not stop. They are completely conscious. Even at the time of deep sleep, they are also conscious. They are serving Krishna. That's why we say, pure devotee, he will serve God 24 hours a day. Even in deep sleep, he will serve God. Because at that time, his consciousness not covered. Only for conditioned souls, we are covered by sleep, by ignorance. So, we act sometimes in relation to the gross body, sometimes in relation to the subtle body. If by Krishna's grace we act in our spiritual body, we can transcend both the gross and subtle bodies. In other words, we can gradually train ourselves to act in terms of the spiritual body. As stated in the Narada Pancharatta, Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. What means bhakti? Bhakti means to engage one's senses in the service of the Lord of the senses, which is Krishna. And in that way, if we engage in such activities, the actions, reactions of the gross and subtle bodies, they cease. And this is actually the practice of a devotee. More and more he will practice to serve Krishna, and in that way his soul will become more and more enlightened, and he will not anymore be act under direction of the material modes, either the gross body or subtle body, but he will be on a transcendental platform. This is not something that can be understood theoretically. This is something which a devotee experiences if he is really engaged in God's service. And very practically, his soul will become awakened, enlivened. So, yeah. So we can experience this like in the child womb, or even as a small child. Awareness, consciousness is very much covered. Small children, they don't have much intelligence, not much awareness, these things. They have their subtle body, it is there, but still they are not completely aware, conscious about their subtle or even their gross body. Small children, they don't know how to work their gross body even properly, how to speak, how to move, and these things. So this, how one is connected with the gross and subtle body, this may change according to circumstances. But the fact is that the gross body is destroyed again and again, but the subtle body, it always stays with us as long as we are in this material world. Only if we get our spiritual body, then even this material subtle body will also be destroyed. Okay. Any question?
Subtle body can be destroyed?
Yes. For a devotee, subtle body is destroyed also. Because the subtle body is also a result of our karma. The mind is the impressions that we collected over many, many lifetimes. Yeah? So if these impressions are destroyed by Krishna consciousness, by spiritual consciousness, then the material mind also gets destroyed. We have read this morning actually that sometimes for a devotee, these impressions which actually normally would have caused him to take birth again and again and again, sometimes devotee by Krishna's mercy, he may all experience them in a dream, all these impressions, and in this way they are dissolved and he's getting free of these material impressions. It's like very practical, like if someone is growing up in one country and he is speaking there Chinese, but then in his youth he is moving to Germany and there he starts speaking German. Gradually he will forget his Chinese. It means this samskaras, these impressions of Chinese, they are, so to say, more and more covered. Yeah. So in the same way, if our Krishna conscious impressions in the mind become more and more as like a servant of Krishna, and gradually all these material impressions which are there since many lifetimes, they will also disappear. Material impressions means I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm rich, I'm Indian, I'm whatever. These are all material impressions and identities. But if we are constantly absorbed in serving Krishna, then all these samskaras, they will change. We will not think these things anymore. Our consciousness, our character, our identification, everything will change to the identification, I'm Krishna's servant, I'm a small soul, covered by this material existence in this world. Our whole mindset will become different. Devotee, what is day for a materialist is night for a devotee. And what is day for a devotee is night for the materialist. It is exactly opposite. The state of consciousness of a devotee and materialist are completely opposite. So it means by serving Krishna, gradually our mind becomes spiritualized. And we start thinking like the people in the spiritual world think, and Krishna's abode think. And automatically by that, our material connection, our material ego, material mind, material intelligence, they will disappear. Kantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari. Wenn du möchtest, kannst du. Dran. Schatzi macht Arbeit.
Was habe ich
Ich habe extra, nein, Eiscreme habe ich gekauft für heute, für euch.
Ja, hast du gesagt, was ein Eiscreme hat? Hast du mich schon gefragt heute Morgen? Da ist nur 2 Eiscreme drin, die eine da im Kühlschrank.
Nee, aber das habe ich nicht gelesen.
Irgendeiner hat doch was gefragt, ob er Eiscreme essen will. Das ist jetzt so super. Sie hat das heute Morgen gefragt.
Abends ist es dann.
Sie hat heute Morgen was gefragt von Eiscreme.